Welcome to Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubbell Realty Company.
How's it going? My name's Tom Young. I'm a project manager with Hubbell Construction Services and Hubbell Realty Company, and I'm here with...
I'm Tyler Edgington. I'm a senior project superintendent with Hubbell Construction Services. I've been here with Hubbell for 9 years. So started as an assistant superintendent and kind of worked up through the ranks, I guess.
Cool.
So I guess let's start off maybe by kind of talking about who Hubbell Construction is and what we do.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of those things.
Yeah, so when I think about Hubbell Construction, I kind of think about, what are the differentiators that makes us a little bit unique. The thing that I always go to is that we're an owner, contractor, developer, property management. We're kind of a one-stop shop for all the different steps of a project and the lifespan of a project. And, that makes us unique for a lot of different reasons. And, we kind of see firsthand the challenges for different things during the construction process. And I think that gives us a lot of strengths in, leveraging the early stages of a project and kind of making sure it's what we want and what the end user is going to want. So I don't know. What's your perspective?
So I think we have a unique position being the builder developer to where, I think it makes making decisions on the project quicker, easier. We know kind of better what the end use of the building or it is going to be. I think that's an advantage that we have in the market. We can kind of tailor our buildings to what we need. The superintendent, the project manager kind of know, hey, here are the important factors in the building. We can guide the project or design or help with feedback on where that needs to be. So I think that's a benefit for what we do.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing I'd throw out there is we've got some really strong relationships with our trade partners. Going from project to project, we'll see a lot of the same foremen. We'll see the same subcontractors, and that kind of goes in with what we do a lot. Is they know what we're looking for, and we've gone through it so many times on so many units, and it really helps us make sure that we're building the best buildings we can.
For sure. The trade relations are definitely like one of the biggest things we have going for us. A lot of the projects I've done, we've worked with the same contractors, multiple years. So, on-site managing, I can, learn the personality of the foreman and the crews and the different guys and, kind of really relate to them. And I feel like we have better success in the project, having built relationships year after year. So it's definitely helpful for us, to do that.
Yep.
Well, and we have you guys here today. You haven't said it yet, so I'm going to interject and say it, okay? We're about to hit a really big milestone for Hubbell Construction Services. And people are going to hear you say HCS. I already know that. So there means Hubbell Construction Services. So talk about when you guys started and where we're headed today and what that milestone is.
Yeah, so we're approaching the 5,000 unit mark of units built by Hubbell Construction Services, or HCS. And so that's huge. I don't know. I don't think that there's probably anybody else in Iowa that's done that. It's a big achievement for sure.
It's a big achievement. And even we've both been here about 9 years. And just the amount of units that we've built per year. I don't know what the statistics are, but it's increased significantly. I would guess in the 9 years that we've been here, our team's grown quite a bit. The first project I worked on here was a 9-plex and 11-plex over in Johnston, the Johnston Commons, and shortly after that, it was a 92-unit apartment building at Cadence, also in Johnston. So what about you? What were some of your early projects, and what are you working on now, and whatnot?
Yeah, so Tom and I actually worked together on Johnston Commons, townhome project, and since then, I built quite a few, 3 buildings downtown, 2 of which Tom was a project manager on. But I think I was tallying it up that, to date, I've been a part of 500 plus units, which is kind of crazy, thinking back on how many that really is. We have some guys that have been with us for 18 years that, probably have thousands of units. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so now, like I said, I did a couple projects downtown here, LINC 2, Velocity Level. Now I'm working on an assisted living project, Eden Crest at Pleasant Hill. So,
yeah. What do you think was some of your most memorable projects, or what were your most challenging projects in the 9 years you've been here?
I think the most challenging project for sure was the LINC 2 project at Gray Station. It was a 5-story all wood structure. Typically, those are anything over 4s built on a precast podium. So the construction type and the size of the project, it was 142 units. So it definitely led to some challenges. Anytime you're mixing different materials and have a bunch of fire ratings, it gets hard. So that was definitely the hardest, probably most challenging project. Turned out phenomenal, but it was a real test for sure. Also probably one of the more rewarding ones just because it was a challenge. It was during COVID, so obviously we had our problems there on procuring materials and cost inflation and all that. So yeah, that was the most challenging. And rewarding wise, I would say probably one of the more rewarding was our last extreme build project at Easterseals, the daycare center. That was pretty cool, just being able to watch the little kids that would probably be moving into that building, walk around, tour it. They think that we hung the moon, they're excited about it all. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Those extreme builds are awesome. Everyone gets really excited, and it's really awesome being able to show the end users kind of the finishing stages. And
for sure.
Can you guys talk about the extreme build? So we've had Casey on, and coming up at going to On With Life in September 13th through the 20th for our next extreme build. But can you talk about that whirlwind of anywhere from 5 to 11 days, and what is that like as a construction lead, a project manager, or a superintendent? How does that all come together?
I'll give my perspective. I mean, we've been talking about this extreme build. I think the first meeting that I was a part of on this most recent one was April of last year. So that kind of gives you a perspective of how much time goes into planning it, the use of the space, and when they need it, what they're going to use it for. And then, even as, last fall, trying to negotiate with our trade partners. Again, another reason why, our trade partners are key to everything we do. We've had some big vendors step up and contribute 100% of their scope of work to this extreme build project. So,
what does that look like when you say 100% scope of work?
Up to $250,000, and it depends on whose scope, but that's probably our largest contribution. That'd be from Klein Electric. Shout them out. But yeah, Beiser Lumber, they're pitching in all the windows. Makinich is doing our site grading and utility work.
Cook Plumbing, big,
Yep.
all
Cook
fixtures.
Oh,
and
they're the ones that
whatever.
we have to have Monster for, right? Or Red Bull. Which one is it?
Pretty much everybody
Oh, okay,
likes,
well.
likes,
That-
likes to have the
Keep 'em
energy
fueled.
drinks. Yeah.
What about you, Tyler? What's your thoughts on those? And what do you recollect from your 2 or 3 builds you've been a part of?
Yeah, so they're super exciting. Obviously, it's a lot of work to get ready for, a lot of pre-planning, a lot of making sure that everything is in place, ready to go. Logistically, I mean, it's bigger than just the construction team, like, say Tom and I and the rest of our guys, because of, there's marketing and catering and all these different things and security or logistics. So, definitely hard to plan for. They're super fast-paced, but it's ultra rewarding being able to turn over a building in 5-7 days, whatever the case may be. So they're fun.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I think I'd put a lot of emphasis on that too. Just the nature of it. Everyone's got high energy and everyone's excited to be there, to be part of this event. So
yeah, and I know we have a whole bunch of different people and vendors, suppliers, and people that want to donate to these things and help the cause. And so Tom's been leading up the project management side of things for us. So he's been busy with that and his other duties. So shout out to him for that.
Thank you.
What are some of the other projects? So you mentioned the extreme build, but you were going to go into a few projects from your start to where we're at today.
Yeah. Some of the most memorable projects that I've been a part of, I would say, if I were to shout out to, it'd probably be One Velocity. That was kind of the first project I managed as a project manager with Hubbell. So that was really unique. There was a lot of amenity space, rooftop patios, a lot of different details that made that challenging. Very tight timeline. There was financing tied to a certain end date, and so we really worked hard on getting that to the finish line as quickly as we could. And then, kind of in the same development there, that Bridge District development level, that was cool for a number of other reasons. Hubbell purchased, I think it was 15 acres over in the East Village back in around 2016 or so.
We can fact check.
We'll fact check.
Check.
So that was interesting in the respect of, we were part of the very early projects with Verve and Velocity, those first 2 apartment buildings out there. And just, you see this concept master plan that shows 3 big apartment buildings and a lot of single family townhomes. And Hubbell had purchased 15 acres in 2016, and then fast forward 8 years, and we're kind of finishing up the end cap of that development. So, so that was really cool. We've got a larger, similar situation over at Gray Station, where we've got 75 acres of land that we're working through, and so it's cool seeing just the magnitude of that amount of land and just seeing it transform into these cool buildings and these cool spaces for our community.
Yeah, that was super cool, I guess, also to take part in all of those big projects down there and then really close it out. Like for us, our team HCS being done with that development, that was cool for sure.
Can you let us in on a little bit of the inside jokes or anything? Keep it fairly PG or don't. But what are some of the fun times that maybe people don't get to hear about? I mean, they see the big buildings, but there's obviously a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on in any big development and construction project. But just trying to think of, you can tell some team member stories if you really want. I'm trying to get you laughing.
I don't know. One thing that stood out, I guess,
I knew you'd have some.
With Level, the last building down there in Gray State, or at
Bridge District.
Bridge District. I remember we were still working on the second building, Velocity, down there, and we get a call or an email from Chris Sidoris saying that, hey, Rick and I want to come out and get an aerial lift out on the level site, go up as high as it can go and see how loud it is. So I remember thinking to myself, that doesn't sound like the job for me to run the lift and do that. So
Dylan special.
Dylan Wood was working for us. He's an assistant superintendent, and I'm like, well, Dylan, here's the deal. Here's what you got to do. And
it's some precious cargo. A VP and a CEO. Yeah, you're like, well, I don't know.
He had the big dogs. He was tasked with it, and he gets them out there. They boom it all the way up, and I guess they talk about how loud or not loud it was, and back down they go. So that always stood out. That was fun.
Yeah. I'd like to see the meter readings.
I know.
I always like coming out to see you guys because I just never know what you're going to be working on at that time frame. I'm always trying to track you down, hiking up 5 floors of stairs and seeing, what level of construction I end up running into. It's always just a fun adventure.
I mean, and it could be totally different from the top story to the bottom on where we're at.
Yep. Could be punching out on the 5th floor and just starting to hang drywall on the 1st floor.
Yep.
Just depends.
What are you go-to boots, go-to jeans? Sorry, I have to ask this question. I'm a woman, but you even bring fashion in your hard hat. We didn't bring it in today, which I'm sad about, but we'll post a picture of it on our Instagram so people can check it out.
Yeah, I would call fashion loose for what we got going on, at least as far as the field and construction goes. I mean, I have a bunch of stickers on my hard hat, and that's really the gist of it. But I don't know. I mean, you wear a pair of boots out at least every year, 9 months or whatever. So we're definitely hard on those. We walk a lot of miles, a lot of steps. I mean, I know level was 5 stories, and it was just at 100 steps, top to bottom. So, I went through 2 pair of boots on that project.
Yeah. Our property management team's usually pretty good at bringing us some stickers of showing the branding of whatever project we're working on, and we get to decorate our hard hats with those a little bit. So it's always kind of fun to see, oh, here's where I started and here's where I am today.
For sure.
So what do you guys, I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions, but I'm truly just curious because I don't get to sit down with you all that often. But looking back, how has HCS grown to where it's at today and doing, you've taken on some really big third-party work recently in this last year too. So can you talk about some of the most recent projects and some of those, areas where you're expanding and hoping to expand, where you're going to be in the next 5K units? Yeah.
Well, I'll jump in and, one of our third-party projects we're working on right now is for On With Life. We're wrapping up a long-term care facility in Polk City for their person served. So they're moving out of their Glenwood facility and moving everyone there. So that's going to actually just start later this week, that they're going to start those transfers. Another project manager of ours, Jace Henderson, he's working on a Civco project in Coralville. Just last year, we wrapped up this Iowa Trust and Savings Bank. When we talk about how Hubbell Construction's changed or grown, I mean, I'd say between third party and even just geography has really changed. We're talking about starting three more big projects this year, 2 of which are in Omaha. So, I mean, that'll be a big new step for our team. Seeing a lot more going on in Omaha. Years prior, we've been pretty well contained to the, greater Des Moines area, but as we've grown, we're starting to kind of get more out there and, project in Coralville, project in Omaha. We got, 2 projects about 2 hours away each direction. So, I think that's probably one of our biggest changes and something that'll continue to develop as we see more projects further away.
Yeah. I would say, speaking of change, like things that have developed and came along over the years since you and I have been here, it's definitely been like our quality of construction and how we manage and deal with the projects specifically. We have Procore now that we use for construction management software, cloud-based, app-based, allows us to keep everything in one spot, plans, RFIs, all of these things, all of our quality control inspections. I would say that we've come light years in improving quality overall in our projects. So
For sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you don't give a shout out to Procore,
It's totally changed how we do business. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. I don't know how we even managed to do what we do without Procore, to be honest.
Yeah.
And, we kind of got Procore, 5 years ago or 6 maybe. It was that Velocity project, and we kind of just jumped in and started
I think it was about 6 years ago.
I mean, we were pretty much fumbling around at first, just figuring it out and knew right away it was going to be valuable.
Yeah.
So.
The efficiencies that has brought for our team can't really be understated. I mean, just you're walking around the job site and, you pull up your app on your phone or whatever and you see something that needs to be corrected and you can document it. You can tie it to a specific room, location, send it to the people that need to know about it, within a minute. So it's night and day what it's done for us.
I mean, it's handy for owner teams, marketing team, anybody, because you can get on and look at anything you want. You can see where it's at. What do the photos look like? At any given point. So,
yeah. One of my highlights is seeing all the drone photos get added about once a month. Those are always cool. A cool check-in from a bird's eye view of where a project's at. So
shout out to the Hubbell Drone Squad.
Yeah,
that's right. Those are key. They
running
make,
around.
they make us look good. For sure.
Well, you guys keep building so bigger projects. Their only way to see them is when you get 400 feet up in the air.
That's right.
It's true. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys are going to be doing a big celebration at some point in June, celebrating the 5K. Anything else about just where you're headed and what you're most excited for, especially as you see the team grow, the products grow, obviously the distance you're traveling grows, all of it.
I mean, I think it's pretty exciting to see that we're doing a variety of projects. We're doing third-party work. The Extreme Build project coming up's pretty cool situation too. So I would say that's the excitement I have is, we're branching out in different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say in the short term, the Extreme Build is going to be really exciting this year. Turning over our 5,000th unit and all the stuff we got planned for that's going to be awesome. And just seeing how much we grow and develop between now and the next 5,000 at 10,000 units. Our team's grown a lot, and we've gotten better. We've gotten more efficient. We're doing bigger projects. We're looking at $30-40 million projects now. And, 9 years ago, I don't think we could be saying the same thing. So, I'm just really excited to see what the future holds and where we go from here.
I mean, Indigo Living manages 10,000 apartments. You guys,
we got to hit it.
I'm loving all
of it. We got
the
to meet the threshold that they
10K
set.
to 5K. It's just a fun.
We're going to have to build more.
Well, that's true. Spoken like a wise superintendent, project manager right there. Well, it's about time for us to dive into the off the rails section, which I don't know if I mentioned to you guys is a randomly generated question. So it definitely generated something random. And remind me, you both are dads, right?
Yes.
Correct.
To remind me.
2 kids.
2
3.
and 3? Okay.
Yep.
What's your go-to dance move? Now, we're going to do 2 questions because maybe some people watch and some people don't. So we'll stick with this random. What's your go-to dance move, dads? We'll do this for the ones who watch YouTube.
Yeah, I can't say I even have a
go-to
come on.
dance
move.
the timing of this couldn't be any more perfect because we just had the my first father-daughter dance a couple weeks ago. And my favorite is got to be the twirl. You twirl them around, and she really got a kick out of that. Other than that, you got the classics, the Macarena, the cha-cha, the cha-cha slide. Is that what it's?
Slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Tyler. There has to be something.
Yeah, I don't think, not a real big dancer, believe it or not.
All right. So that's not as podcast friendly. Here we go. This is the first time we've given people 2 questions, so feel special, you guys. If you were a vegetable, what vegetable would you be? I don't know where that question came from.
Maybe a potato.
Ooh.
They're pretty versatile. You can do a lot with a potato.
That's true.
If we were talking the most versatile food, that's a good answer. Just to keep it different, I think I'm going to say a carrot because I think my eyesight would be a little bit more improved if I was. At least that's what they say. I don't know if there's validity to that or not.
Might be a wives' tale.
Might be.
Anything else you guys want to touch on for celebrating your, 5,000th unit? Just saying congratulations to you and the team, because really, you guys, between Casey and all the leadership, I know you both have been here for 9 years, but you've got some good people leading the way, and you are also being great leaders yourself. So,
yeah, I guess I would just say that I am super proud of our team and everything that everybody's done to get us to 5,000 units. It's a lot. It's a lot of hard work, and we have a great team. So
yeah,
I think we can do another 5,000.
Well said.
Yeah.
Couldn't do alone. We have an awesome team. We have awesome trade partners. We've hit on that. I mean, it takes a huge number of people to bring these buildings to life and make them a reality. So it takes all kinds, and we have an awesome team.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining Dig It, Real Estate Podcast by Hubbell Realty Company. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, if you want to see Tyler and Tom's fantastic dance moves, then you're going to have to catch it on YouTube. We have a playlist dedicated just for Dig It. And so thank you guys both. And, again, congratulations on 5,000 units.
Thank you.
Thank you.